I do feel like garbage though. It's just bad.
I'm just so like mentally frustrated and angry.
See, I almost wish well, no, I guess being hungover is better than mentally frustrated. My back, though, I fell asleep on the floor.
Face down on the floor. Like, not even laying comfortably on the floor.
Where the dog's ass probably sits all the time, too. And I just... I guess she found me. I don't remember this. When I woke up, I was on the couch. So I managed to get to the couch last night. But I don't understand why she couldn't at least, like, kicked me in the head and be like, hey... You're, like, sleeping on your neck funny, move.
You gotta work tomorrow, don't you?
Yeah, that sucked. I'd be working at 8 in the morning. I was like, oh.
She could at least throw, like, a blanket on you.
Yeah, she could. Well, maybe it was hot. I don't remember. To be fair, I haven't slept that well in, like, a month. Like, I just slept like a dead body all night, so that was nice. I went to actual bed at about 6 in the morning. I crawled in. It was, like, really, like, it was light out. I was like, this is stupid. Should have just called off. I would have called off if I wasn't off tomorrow for the big event. The big event. I don't know when this episode will be released. We're going to be in Wizard World for the weekend.
Up into Pittsburgh.
Ugh. I don't know how well this book review is going to go. I feel like shit. You just want to stab people. Well, that might actually... might be good for the theme. Well, let's see what goes on. Because I like books. I like reading books. And maybe I like this book. Let's discuss after this musical intro. I'm a soul man. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggly. Hey there, you filthy animals. You're listening to the Drunken Pen Writing Podcast. How are you doing? I'm your host, Caleb James. With me today, Spencer, the bad boy of Botswana Church. I didn't know you were from Botswana.
Me neither.
It's an interesting one this week.
See, at the beginning of there, I thought you were going John Wayne.
Hey there, Pilgrim. I don't think I could do a serviceable John Wayne.
Or just there until you got to like the buddy or whatever that was there at the end. I was like, I don't remember hearing John Wayne say that, but I thought like that's where you were trying to go with was that John Wayne Pilgrim kind of voice.
I don't know. I just I'm not hungover. I'm not really thinking properly. My brain is not firing on any cylinders. Barely.
None.
All day I was sitting there like, what am I supposed to be doing? Oh shit, I'm driving a big truck down the road.
It's like you know where they always show those pictures of like a brain scan of an active brain, and there's all these different like lights going off there. You got like one in the one corner, another one like a little at the other end of the skull. There's not much going on.
Yeah, it looks like a brown out in New York.
And there might be one bigger one in the center of the brain, just keeping the lights on.
Oh, my fucking mic stinks again too.
Did it stop from stinking? Or?
Yeah, it didn't smell too bad. Yesterday when I did the 2-hour podcast, what got me so drunk, the one you didn't happen to be here for.
No.
I don't remember my mic stinking yesterday. Maybe my hot breath.
Maybe that's why it stinks.
Probably. Who knows what I was spitting on this thing. Okay, you know what? I'm just going to go take a nap. We'll get back to this later. Today we have, what is this, our book of the month?
I think we should just book review.
It's like book of the month.
Oh, book club. But we don't ever do it every month.
You don't have to do it every month. They're not going to know. Who's tracking this so thoroughly that they're going to be upset that, hey, wait a minute, there's no book of the month in June.
Somebody's going to say something. You know they are.
Fuckers. Well, you know what? When they start giving me money for the show, then they can start having an opinion to voice.
All right. That's not going to stop them, though. Just letting you know.
No. All right, our book of the month, Spencer.
All right.
If that's your real name, you Botswanian fuck.
I don't know. I don't ever know my name until you tell me my name. And then I use that name for the rest of the week, even like at work, at home. That's
you have to. That's kind of a rule. That's why I do it. Today, we are covering the Black Bun... Oh, fuck. Why was I going to call him Buns of Steel? That's a weird choice.
Yeah, I mean...
Don't even know the guy like that.
I know you were like a Patreon member of them for a while, but I was like...
If anyways, the Buns of Steel, I think it'd be Terry.
Right?
No, we are covering The Black by one Paul E. Cooley. We are fans of the Dead Robot Society podcast, and you folks should definitely check that out. But sorry, I'm looking at pictures of naked ladies here.
Ooh.
They're really elderly. It's not attractive. I don't know.
I don't know what I'm doing right now.
Yeah. I was looking for the book description and it popped up on my Goodreads. I've been reading some weird stuff, man.
All of it from last night.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, we both like the Dead Robot Society podcast, but we have not read either of those guys' books.
No.
And I decided, well, fuck, we definitely got to change that up.
Yeah.
I'm not a huge into, like, the space opera type stuff, but I like me some horror.
Yes.
And this was tantalizing. I'm mixing up words. Dude, I need to fucking smoke some crack real quick. Is that alright?
Yeah.
Hey, how come can you get, like, crack in vapor form?
Probably. I mean...
It's a rock. How do you get oil from a crack rock?
Yeah, I don't know, man. Science?
This weekend in Pittsburgh, your mission is to find this out.
Vape crack rock.
Vape crack rock. All right. The Black. Under 30,000 feet of water, the exploration rig Leaguer has discovered an oil field larger than Saudi Arabia. Fuck.
That is big, right?
Big. With oil so sweet and pure, nations would go to war for the rights to it. But as the team starts drilling exploration well after exploration well in their race to claim the sweet crude, a deep rumbling beneath the ocean floor shakes them all to their core. Something has been living in the oil, and it's about to give birth to the greatest threat humanity has ever seen. That's pretty bold.
Yeah.
And you know what? I would say the book lives up to that description.
Yeah, that's pretty accurate.
And also one... Paul E. Cooley, I think, loves him some oil because that man knew a lot about oil.
Yeah, a lot of oil and techie stuff.
All right, let me bring up my very crude notes I took for this because I didn't want to just ramble endlessly like we do for most podcast episodes. I got a smattering of negative things to say about this book, but a lot of more positives.
We do the negatives, get those out of the way, and then we can focus on the positives.
That's the way I like it. I am not going to go into all these characters and stuff right away, and I don't really want to give away the book, though, too much. Like, I don't know if we should go, like, ending spoilers. It's been out for a while.
Yeah, I mean, what, like, 06 or 16? Like, 2015? 14. Yeah, 14, so yeah.
I don't think we'll be. But what if they option it for a movie? I could see this as a movie.
As reading it, that's what I was thinking. Like, I could see this being played out or even like a miniseries or something like that.
It had, as like when we were reading it, I told you, which I didn't know until the end when he actually described one of his inspirations for the book was The Thing. Yeah. Because I got The Thing feel for this. Mm-hmm. It was just like the monster, but not even just the monster necessarily. The isolation, because they're on an oil rig out in the middle of the ocean, and kind of brings up like the themes of isolation in Antarctica, kind of dangerous climate, and then also they got a brewing storm coming, and there's a good tension with that. And
that was like just quite literally forecasting forecasting weather, forecasting plot points, like
the foreshadowing was there for sure. I'll go into that a little bit more in detail, but
I would say with the oil, like you got like The Thing, which I totally get to, but as me reading it, I kept on having like a hard time when I was picturing The Black as just not kind of like this huge like venom like symbiote kind of thing.
Yeah, for anybody who's not read this, the central plot is you have a team of 4 people. You had Calhoun, the engineer.
Yeah, like all the kind of the tech and...
so you had Calhoun was the engineer. You had Catfish, Craig Stanley, Catfish, who was the computer guy. JP was the diver. Shauna Sigler was the geologist.
Yeah.
And, so that was their crew. And they go on this oil rig, which obviously has an established crew, a shitload of guys. And you get some cool clashing between Calhoun And I wasn't sure how to pronounce this guy's name. Martin Vabro?
Yeah, I wasn't 100%.
Vraebl. He's the rig chief. So you get like kind of these like two older characters battling almost, you know, like alpha male type shit. I like that.
Both people who have been
two leaders.
Who've been in the game for a long time and know their shit.
Mm-hmm. But you get these the crew, and during their exploration, because they have to test the oil that they're drilling for to make sure, you know, it's pure and there's oil there and all kinds of shit like that. And what they end up doing is uncovering the black. They think it's this really, really impossibly pure oil with no like sediment or anything in it. And it turns out it's, like you said, like a symbiote almost. It's this stuff that's living, and it can I
also got like a like an actual like like a Cthulhu, without really reading that stuff, but just like knowing like the H.P. Lovecraft stuff like vaguely.
Well, when they're drilling, they got these tube worms, and they're surrounded like a big eye, I think it was, or something. There's like a big creature down there. It actually doesn't give away that point, I don't believe, in this book, but there's a monster that lurks. But the what was the black? It's blood. Like, if it touches you, it melts you, and like...
I think the black was just a part of the being. Like, I think, like, when they drilled through the floor, that it was, like, underneath. Like, the rock bed it was underneath. I think it brought it up.
Well, yeah, but I thought the black was, whatever monster that lurks there. I thought it was his... That's what Calhoun was saying. That it was, like, it's blood or something. And it, you know, if it touches you, not just touches you, it attacks you, but it fucking like just melts your skin and it kind of absorbs you and turns you into like more of the black. So that was very interesting. But I don't want to go into all that just yet. But, so basic plot point, they're trying to get oil. Yeah. Some shit goes awry. Yeah. And then, like we said, there's also a storm on the horizon, which was, you know, I really liked the tension that brought, because you knew from the very beginning this big tropical storm was probably going to hit them. But you didn't know when, and it just kept building. Through the whole thing, the tension just built with that.
The whole book takes place between, like, maybe not even a week.
Yeah.
It's 4 or 5 days at the most, I think.
It's pretty fast-paced when it comes to, like, the timeline. There weren't, you know, from the start till all shit, you know, all hell breaks loose. There's a few things I didn't like. I'll get to those right now. First thing, I think this could turn a lot of readers off from reading the whole book. Like, for me, the first, like, 50 pages or so, nothing happened, really. I mean, they were just talking, like, a lot of the tech stuff you were saying and introducing the characters and stuff. But it gets super fast-paced the second half of the book.
Oh, yeah.
Like, just non-stop action and stuff, which is awesome. But that first half, I just want to say that you could easily just get bored with it if you weren't interested in, like, the oil well talk and all that stuff. And I think he would have did himself a service by adding just like some minor drama in like the first act of the book, even if it's just like a fist fight or minor explosion, just something to keep the readers like, okay, some shit's happening. I mean, he did use like, you know, the tropical storm and a couple of things he was building tension with, but I think that definitely would have helped if he just added a little drama at the beginning there. Either that or just maybe introduce the black a little earlier, but not. And see, that's the thing though. I like the way he introduced the black, because he had this really cool scene where I think she's like a geologist, lady who what was her name again? Sigler. Shauna Sigler. She has to test the oil and stuff, and then they send it off to Houston and they do bigger tests. As she's testing it, at first she just thinks it's oil, and then she's like, oh, it's really pure oil. But then as she goes through it, she realizes how impossible the oil is, and then he does a really like cool scene where it's just she's like scared of the fucking thing for some reason, but doesn't know why.
It starts to bubble.
Yeah, it starts bubbling.
And oil doesn't bubble.
No, there's no air in it, and it was just there's no water in it or anything. It was just way too pure. And the way he describes it, though, even though he's like, I
think it cracked a beaker. I think.
I don't think it cracked the beaker. I thought it maybe it did. I forget. I thought it couldn't go through like the, what is that, Pyrox or something, like the plasticky glass or whatever.
Like, I don't think like it shattered it. I think like it just like expanded it a little bit, and like, or maybe it wasn't. Maybe that was it. Maybe that wasn't as much in the beaker, and then more like, you know, once they heated it or something.
Well, it ends up getting out is what happens. And obviously, they discovered that this thing is not your typical oil. And it was pretty cool.
It's not your typical anything.
No. I also he threw in a quick thing at the beginning about Calhoun saying something about, I forget what it was. Something was just being a pain in the ass. He does a good job of just showing these characters just being irritated.
Yeah.
And Calhoun said something about retiring, kind of giving a little foreshadowing of what might happen to his character. Oh, I got a page number. Let me check that out. Page 72.
Is this still something that you didn't like?
I don't know. No, this was something cool.
I'm gonna say real quick while you're looking for that, I'm gonna say one of the things that I didn't like about it is that in the beginning a little bit I got kind of confused on some of the characters, especially because they
have nicknames
and he never
first name and last name he would use them.
I mean and it wasn't ever this is what was Calhoun's first name?
Thomas.
Thomas Calhoun, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, anytime I hear Thomas or I hear Calhoun, it's no, at first we heard Calhoun, you had whenever he then...
If you weren't paying attention, somebody referred to him as Thomas. Wait, what?
Yeah, who's he talking to? You had to put that together as you read it. And again, as you got into the book, then you started to know that stuff, then it wasn't as bad. But, those first couple, pages, I was wait, who... Because, at first I thought Calhoun and Catfish was the same person at first. For the first couple pages.
I was confused because I think Catfish's name was Stan Lee, his last name. And,
but you didn't, you never hear him be called Stanley until, halfway through the book.
Yeah, I didn't realize, so when he called him Catfish, hey, it's Catfish, but then he called him Craig a couple times. Who the fuck is Craig?
Yeah.
Cause some of the times I was reading this, I was just tired or, it was late at night. I was like, wait a minute, who the fuck are these people now? Yeah, so he could have probably did a better job clearing that up a little. What I was looking for is a JP, the diver guy, having a dream about monsters or something. Oh, yeah. I just thought that was cool because, another little bit of foreshadowing perhaps. There was a set of writing, not necessarily dialogue tags, but just some things that he had in here that were fine at first, but then overused, and I got a little irritated. Everybody was sucking teeth.
And again, it'd be one thing if it was if this was Calhoun. Every time you...
Just him.
Calhoun sucked his teeth.
Everybody was sucking their teeth.
Calhoun sucked his teeth when he did that. But it's who's sucking this many... I couldn't tell you the last time I heard somebody suck their teeth.
I don't... Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, there's a lot of teeth sucking, tongue clicking, and...
fist clenching.
Yeah, that's also the fist clenching and unclenching. Not just clenching and unclenching. I'm not sure if he was... aware that he wrote those same things too many times because they were very prevalent throughout the book.
Yeah,
and they go obviously because I noticed it. I mean, one or two times would be okay, but
especially too because I know whenever I write, that's something that I'm very aware of when I'm maybe not when I'm doing my first draft, but whenever you're cleaning things up and stuff like that. That's something that I'm very awareness when it comes to my own work. So I think that whenever you're reading somebody else's,
you kind of point it out. Yeah, well, that's where Scrivener comes into play, or, comes in handy because it has a feature that'll show you your most used words and your most used phrases. Yeah. You have to look up a phrase and be am I clenching and unclenching too much?
Yeah. Your anus or it depends.
Also everybody's fucking color was draining from their face.
Yeah.
So a lot of that. A lot of people. I don't think I marked this one down, but I'm pretty sure I remember a lot of people opening their mouths, not saying anything, and then closing them.
Yeah, opening and then closing their mouths.
I just thought of a bunch of old people gumming.
Well, that's why the seat, it goes with the teeth sucking too. They all older people, so.
I guess, yeah.
Nah.
You trying to tell us something, Paul? Or are you going through some elder? I don't think you're that old, but going through some elderly episodes where you're sucking your teeth and opening your mouth a lot.
I just see him as he's writing the whole thing. He's just as he's typing the story.
Terry's bothering him from he has him on the Hangouts or something. He's sitting there pissing him off, so he keeps clenching it. It's shut up with your stupid cats, man. I like Terry's cats. When they have them on the video and you can see the
see, I'm mostly just audio.
I usually just listen to it, but when I was a patron, I always checked out the videos because they had the...
Yeah, I mean, you might as well if you're paying for it.
Yes, sir. I'm pretty sure Catfish was Paul. I kind of got that vibe.
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely. Because like I don't know if he does now. I remember listening in the past episode, but talking about his long hair.
No, he definitely had long hair. He's a tech guy,
yeah,
computer guy. He obviously knew his shit when he was talking about.
Yeah, I thought that too, and we'll talk about something else about that at the end when we get to like the end of the story.
And I remember from the video, seeing on the videos, I think Paul was always hitting the vape pen too, and this guy was definitely vaping monster. And I mean, I'm just saying though, Catfish is one of like. Only a few people live in this book, and he's one of them. Yeah,
and then, but did you catch the Terry? There was a Terry that got murdered.
Whoa!
It was just like a crewman. It was I don't think they ever gave a last name, but I figured that was probably because they talk about killing each other in each other's books, you know. So I figured that was probably just Terry.
Yeah, that makes sense. He also mentioned Jake Bible.
Yeah. Well, isn't the geologist like Siegler? Isn't that what's his face's last?
Yeah, that's Siegler.
The last name. Yeah.
That's pretty cool. We catch these things. All right. Let's see what.
And like that's not necessarily like a negative thing.
No, I like that.
Yeah, but I did notice that. I wanted to bring that up if you noticed that.
Yeah, I didn't even think of the Terry one. I was so focused on the other stuff. This is just a wonderful sentence, and I'm thinking about getting this tattooed on my arm now. Guy fucking ham is hilarious.
Yeah.
I forgot about that scene. Yeah, there's just the guy got fired for fucking a ham, and he drilled a hole in a ham, and then he put it in the ceiling, and
they kept it for weeks
until it got all gross. I really enjoyed that. That tickled my fancy right there. Lit fic, that is not. Oh, man, they got another page number, and it relates to the ham fucking.
Oh, yeah? And the book is pretty well, like the cover art on it is really nice.
Yeah, I really like the cover. It's cool.
The paper itself, I mean, it's good. It's probably something we would use, you know.
Better than fucking a lot of the Barnes and Noble paperbacks I get. Yeah. Like those cheap ones.
It kind of reminded me of like just like computer paper.
Yeah, I guess.
But again, like whenever we do our books, that's probably what we're gonna have to do. I mean, it's probably
cost efficient.
Yeah.
Oh man, where is this scene?
But it's not like as you read it, like you were smearing words because the ink was coming off of it or anything like that. Like that was all tip top. And I kind of like the size of it. I know whenever we first got it, we were both surprised on like because it's a bigger, thinner book. I was expecting like one of those like short, stubby kind of like like paperbacks. You know what I mean? It's kind of like the size of a hardback, but it's paperback.
Yeah, it made for a nice reading.
Yeah, it made it easy. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what this page note is. Just something about making somebody their ham. I don't know.
Maybe one of the cooks, like...
I think that was a threat, maybe. Or is he talking sexually about somebody? I'm not sure. I forget. I liked how he wrote the chaos that would happen. There wasn't these long, drawn-out scenes. They just came on quickly like it was real life. Like, if some shit goes down, it happens in, like, blink of an eye sometimes. That's how some of the stuff in this book was, where, like, somebody would get killed. It was just like, they turn around, all of a sudden, fucking murdered. Yeah. Awesome, disgusting death scene.
The very, like, clever thing about it, too, is the way he did it and because of, like, what the black is. Like, a lot of time... Oh, here's another one. The sizzling of bacon. I mean, which is a little bit more kind of acceptable because, like...
That's what, when people were getting cooked by the black, he said it was the sizzling of bacon, like the smell and the sound.
So, that one's a little bit more acceptable, but that one was used quite a lot, after all that stuff started, but he didn't really have to describe too much of like how the people got murdered because they were gone. Like, you know what I mean? The things.
And they sizzled like bacon.
Yeah, they sizzled like bacon.
As they died, they clenched and unclenched their fist.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say I'm trying to what a rating for this book will be, but I thoroughly enjoyed it. Other than like the first 50 pages, I was interested. But I did find myself like, I could take it or leave it until I got to like the action started picking up.
Now, do you think? Because I was kind of feeling, especially towards the end, the action as it was picking up, it was almost kind of like picking up too much. It was.
You're thinking maybe piled it in because it wasn't in the first.
Because think about that last scene, like after they set the explosion. I mean, like, and I kind of get it, but like, you know, she wakes up and like everybody else is dead, but you don't really know how, like what happened to him. Like you think the one person, like the person on fire was the what's his name? We couldn't pronounce his name.
Yeah.
And you're like, I think it's him, but like, and then the Calhoun's just laying face down on his face, just like mumbling or something like that. I think you could have found a way to like explain like, yes, dude did get catched on fire. The rest of the crewmen like fell into the ocean, like that, like that kind of stuff. Was it just the two of them at the end that survived? Was that the only two that made it?
That's what I got, but it didn't seem 100% clear.
Because like they both were just kind of cuddling each other at the end. Like somebody should be keeping a lookout for a boat or like where they're going,
or a monster,
or like drive. Yeah, like so that kind of stuff. Like I thought we could have used like there's in like another 10 pages maybe, like 5 or 10 pages just to like kind of let that stuff breathe a little bit. I mean, it was the big climax. Like
there was one guy who just fell and smacked his head off the ground, and it just caves in his whole face. It's like, are you made of glass? How did that happen? Yeah. Like, how hard did that guy fall? Where he just, because I'm pretty sure Calhoun, either Calhoun or the other guy, and didn't just cave in their whole head. But one guy, his whole fucking head caved in. Yeah. They said like I think they picked him up. His eyeball was like that was gross, but I didn't understand how that guy died so easy. I liked how the black, because the light is what its weakness is. So if they have really high powered lights. There was a cool scene where the storm's coming and it finally turns to night. They're on deck and the black's coming after them, and they get all these lights and they put it in a circle, and they're sitting in the circle, and the black's just surrounding them on the outside. And because the lights are so bright, they can't see outside of the circle, but they know the black's there. Yeah. That was pretty cool. And of course, a couple guys got snatched up anyway. Yeah, and they got sizzled like bacon.
Sizzled like bacon. He did do a good job because it's like knowing, this is the first thing that we read, but just from listening to that podcast, that they like to kill their characters, and then he's like, introducing all these characters, and you're like, I kind of like this guy. He's gonna die probably though.
Yeah, he was fucking kidding when he says he kills all his characters. Like he kills almost all his characters.
Because I kind of I like the towards the end the big Bill was his name. Bill, like the big burly guy that was towards the end, who like went up to get the he was with the team that went to help try to go up and rescue the two guys that were.
Didn't he get snatched in like his head or something?
He just like at the end, like before they got to do the explosion, like he just kind of disappeared because like he was kind of off to the side, and because nobody noticed the black was coming through the exploded window that they used to escape out of that high up building, that it would slowly like ooze down that, and then was able to and then took him, and it says that it took him, and then nobody noticed, but like just kind of like, I think he could have got like a cool death. Like I would have seen him get stabbed in the middle of the chest or something, fighting it or something, something, and then just like, oops.
I didn't like JP's death either. I mean, it was cool how it was described and stuff.
Well, you don't even really see it.
That's what I'm saying. I liked when he's he ends, I think, the chapter when JP dies. It's like I want to say something he fell asleep and it'd be the last time or something like that. But yeah, he just and
it took me a minute, after because they eventually go into his room and his cots are burning and stuff. Yeah, and it literally took me and I don't even know why, a good amount of pages after reading it until kicked in my head. I was like, oh, that's probably JP's room. They didn't state that it was his. You're like, oh, they made it into JP's cabin and his bunk was bed. And oh yeah, that's because of the thing probably. And it's I don't know. It took me and that could just be me, just me. I wasn't paying attention, reading it.
I'm pretty sure he stayed in JP's room when they went in.
Oh, maybe.
I mean, he made it clear it was JP that.
Did they ever say what happened to the doctor?
He killed himself.
Did he? I know, he was talking about killing himself, but I couldn't see if he actually did it or not.
I thought it was pretty cool how he built that up because the doctor was in the med bay or somewhere and it was safe there. Yeah. And then, but he knew that the whole time the creature's outside making noise and he can hear it and it's going to get him eventually. And then when he does finally get brave enough, because he's thinking about taking morphine to die, or then he's thinking, well, what if I just let it kill me? He was going over scenarios of dying. He opens the door to see if there's any way out, and the whole place is destroyed, and he'll fall through the floor and all this shit. And then he goes in, he just takes the morphine, I guess. And it doesn't say he takes the morphine, just...
He has it, like, ready. Like, he sits it on the table.
So, yeah,
And I like the correspondence that they do with that scene with him talking to the... Because, like, they send... Like, how you mentioned, they sent a sample out to Houston.
Yeah.
Which, if you're familiar with this series at all, that's where I think, like, that's where, like, the other book is. Mm-hmm. Is in
Houston.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that sample they sent to Houston, I guess it fucking did what it did to them probably. It started killing people. But they pretty much, they got quarantined, and the doctor's the only one that knows that they're not coming to save them. Yeah. They're just going to, if anything, fucking nuke the whole thing.
I think Calhoun and them kind of know, too.
Well, yeah, but they still had hope that maybe they can trick them into getting off, like, you know, kind of make it like, oh, there's a fire or something, like, not saying that they're possibly infected or whatever it was. Also, another death that kind of was cool was, I think his name was Steve Gomez. It was kind of like the right-hand man who ran. Oh,
yeah, he kind of just, like, bursted from the inside out, kind of.
Yeah, like, that was your burster scene.
And again, like, that was a lot of, like, that was Bill telling us that. Mm-hmm. Oh, like, it just kind of came out, other than him, like, diving into that scene and describing what was happening, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, I do feel that there were so many character deaths that he just started introducing new characters on the spot, and then they would die.
Yeah, because it was just like, because you don't really...
There's like a big bearded dude that came in for a minute, and then he died, and...
Because other than, like, the one diver and maybe, like, one other crewman, you know of the crewman, but you're not introduced to any of them until you need people that need to die.
What happened to the Ukrainian diver guy? That guy was kind of cool.
Did
he explain what happened? Like, I don't remember.
Maybe did he go in the explosion that started, like, whenever?
Maybe.
Because, like, I think that's where they lost a lot of crew, like a good bit of crewmen in that initial explosion whenever they drilled into the black.
So what was your opinion on the pacing of this book? I mean, we both talked about, you know, how it was kind of a slow build at the beginning, but once it got into the action, like, you said you kind of thought it was a little too fast at times, but would you have changed it if you could have?
No, like I said, just, and that, like, it's just the end. It's just like that ending scene I felt could have been, like, all the stuff, like, with the two groups doing each mission in the hallway. It's like, I thought all that stuff was kind of fun, was good. Though I was kind of getting, like, I was trying to picture both of, like, these two groups pushing these lamps with, like, that push cart thing.
Yeah.
Through all that, like, that was the only kind of wonky, like, well, then with, like, I don't know that
I was
stuff.
having a hard time picturing, like, that scenario, too, but just
especially the guy running backwards, too.
Yeah.
Like,
because it was, like, a big-ass diesel generator, I think they were using.
And they had these big spotlights. Like, it's not like the lights they were using were, like, I mean, they had a couple, like, strong flashlights, but like when they were doing that, they had like big lights.
Yeah, I was having a hard time kind of picturing what the rig looked like on the inside.
Yeah,
and, especially when they climb out of the window and then they have to jump to a ledge and then like, jump from the ledge to a ladder or some shit. I had no fucking idea in my mind what I kept thinking of, like the outside of a boat, but I know it's not a boat; it's a rig. So I was trying to think what that would look like, and I just couldn't picture it.
So yeah, that's why you could probably maybe got an artist to do like an opening sketch of just like the rig, you know, to give an idea what it looks like.
I mean, when you look on the cover, I was thinking maybe it's like that part.
Yeah, maybe
something. But I
think you'd have to be higher up because you are landing onto the deck. Yeah. And wasn't that below the deck where you just pointed at?
Yeah, unless they were like up on the tower. I'm not sure. That's one thing. I don't know shit about oil rigs. Paul knows a lot about oil rigs.
Yeah, I mean, I take his word on it, you know. I didn't do the research, so.
You know, he did clearly, because there was a lot of oil talk in here.
How did you like the description of the black?
I thought it was cool, especially when he went into how, you know, just not just like void of all light, but almost like a black hole, like light's just sucked into it, and just, there is nothing. It's not like looking at something that's just black. It's like looking into, I can't even describe it, like nothing. And that was kind of cool. And then like the way it moves and stuff. And
It would spout out like arms and tentacles.
Yeah, it had tentacles and eyeballs.
And eyeball. Did it have teeth too, or did it just have eyeballs?
I thought it had like fangs or something, like teeth.
Maybe suction cup thingies.
That makes more sense. And it was really cool too because it like polishes all the metal.
Yeah, because it eats away like the top layer of it, so you can kind of tell where it's been or where it hasn't been.
Yeah, so they would go through a hall and all of a sudden everything's super shiny. They're like, oh shit, there's a goddamn monster. Yeah, because it can eat through wood and pretty much everything but metal and glass, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, it causes all kinds of fucking mayhem, destroys the whole rig. Everything's on fire. Oh man. It's chaos galore. If you like chaos, you'll like this book.
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot of chaos. I really liked how all that stuff was written. I thought that was really cool. I mean, I know it probably sounds like we have a negative view on it just from like those, but those writer points I was saying, like the sucking in the teeth stuff, that stuff is very spare compared to the quality like of the book itself.
And like even as we talk about like the pacing, like it didn't take me long to get through this book.
No, it's like 200 something pages. Not very...
It took me like a week to read it. Like once I was reading it, like I even during like the slower kind of parts, like his character development and just like the way he writes it was good enough to make it not like a slog or like work to try to get through it.
Well, this won a Parsec Award, didn't it? I think so.
I think maybe.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it won a Parsec Award. Does he have it written on here?
You think he would?
I would.
You think you'd check out either the other books in the series?
I was trying to debate that, and I'm not sure. I mean, I was debating that in my head. Because I like the story, and I like where it goes, but one of my problems is it killed off all the characters I liked.
Well, like you said, like I think the one's gonna be in that Houston thing, so you're just gonna get like a whole nother cast of characters.
So that'd almost be like a new book, I guess.
Yeah, the way they described it whenever I was looking at them on Amazon were like they were like parallel standalone stories.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense then.
So like they take like
same universe.
Same universe,
same antagonist.
Because like I think. Like the one is like in the hospital, and then the other one I wasn't sure about. Like I don't know if it's when it got into, because like I was reading the description of them, and like one makes it seem like it's like the outbreak at the
oil center, or the lab or whatever.
Yeah, and then like the other one seemed like maybe they was like sending a team in there. So like, but like I'm not like that. That kind of confuses me. So like I want to get it Maybe instead of like the actual like hard copy, they'll get like an ebook or something. So you're not.
I would definitely probably read those. I definitely think like a lab scene would be cool, and also I would imagine those would have the benefit of him not having to go into all the development of the black and the oil and all that. I
mean, you'd have to do it a little bit just in case for people who didn't read, but like there shouldn't be as much like
50 pages opening text stuff.
I mean, you probably have to explain some stuff, maybe like how the CGG is like set up and maybe how some of their tests work, but nothing to the extent of like deep sea drilling.
I would imagine it's mostly character development and action.
Yeah,
like for the future books, so that'd probably be cool.
What about would you check out any of his other work periods?
I actually wanted to check out Tattoo and Closet Treats. Those are, I think, both his horror stories.
Are they full novels or like one of those like short stories or something?
I'm not sure. I thought maybe they were on the shorter side, maybe like a novella or something. I didn't really look into it too much, but he always talks about Closet Treats, and people really like that one. And the Tattoo just caught my eye. Oh, this is the Garaga stuff too, right? It's like his monster.
And when he got like a new like what's that derelict stuff? Is that like
Derelict
space?
Marines is like I think a space sci-fi. I'm not into like the hardcore tech sci-fi. I'm pretty sure that's what he writes. Like how the oil, the machinery, and the computers. Like how he just like that's like a genre. So that's kind of his bread and butter, it seems. And like if you were into that kind of stuff, like the tech sci-fi and the tech horror and things like that, you would love the Black probably because that. Like, I was actually interested in the fucking oil process. I was like, that's cool. Like,
and because he was able to... It's kind of like the Martian. Like, the way he explained and talked about it...
Made it entertaining.
Yeah, and it made it interesting and not just like, oh, he's throwing numbers at me, or like, you know.
Yeah, and he did such a good job of describing like the whole oil, the testing process, and how they drill and all that shit. That and those OVs, the AUVs, well, I forget that stands for. The robots that go swimming for them. They kind of like little submarine things that video and test all the geography and shit. He did such a good job of describing all that stuff that I was able to picture everything in the process and how it gets done. So I can, like, somebody started asking me about how you fucking, drill oil in the ocean.
Give him a slight idea.
Yeah. Before I didn't know at all. I was like, how the fuck do you get, like...
How does the drill make it through the water without causing, I
also like him just shitting on BP.
Yeah.
Because I hate BP.
Well, you figure that was probably closer to when that happened.
Yeah. It's still leaking like thousands of gallons of oil a day or some shit.
Seriously?
Yeah. It's like nobody just like picking that up, filtering that out, and be like, hey, got some free oil. Like,
and it's like, yeah, like... That's not only is that like a fucked up thing to have to the environment, and nothing's getting used for it too. Be like, oh well, at least it's fucking up the environment, but at least we're using it for something. Like, no, it's just getting ruined in the water, killing things.
I mean, I'm sure at some point you could just light the whole ocean on fire. All right. So, what is your overall rating for this book?
I'd give it about like a 4. 4 out of 5.
I also gave it a 4. I thought it was. If I didn't drink so much last night, I would do the 4 shots of whiskey.
Yeah, right.
We'll just
we'll say 4.
Yeah, we'll just say we did it.
Clank, 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 clank. Yeah.
Well, that was our terrible review of The Black.
A terrible review of a good book.
Yeah, we did not do a good job of covering that. It was not like my House of Leaves breakdown or anything like that. But also,
is that better or worse?
The House of Leaves. That's more along the lines like the literary style. So I'm able to break down that stuff easier because I could, go into the morals of man and what it means to be human and shit like that. But like with this, it's kind of a cool monster story.
To be or not to be?
To be. It is the question of whether it is nobler to jacket in the night or noblest to jacket in the shower where it immediately cleans. The tissue or the rag? What do you use? I don't like the rag because it gets crusty and it'll cut when it gets dry. Oh, the driest of rags! You cut my head of my member. Oh, phallus, oh, phallus. How do you I'm just
letting you go into your
stop me. I could keep going.
I want this to be like the after credit scene of the podcast.
Or flapping in the breeze, free as the evening dove. Yeah, so I'm sorry, Paul, if you end up listening to this and you have to listen to us talk about wieners, but that's how every episode goes. Yeah. So kind of got used to it.
Yeah, at least it happened at the end. People kind of like left out from, it wasn't involved into the actual review.
Yeah. Oh, man. If I was more ambitious, I'd do an actual written review and be nice about it, but I just have not been able to do any reviews of anything. 'Cause I just stopped caring about reviewing stuff. It's just too much. There's too much media and too many people reviewing shit, and who cares about my opinion, really?
Yeah.
Just trying to make things entertaining. For you fine listeners, you want to check out our stuff that didn't win any Parsec Awards, go head on over to drunkenpenwriting.com. You can see what we're up to on the Twitter. I don't know when this episode will post, but our coverage of the Wizard World Pittsburgh event we're doing this weekend will be up by then. So yeah, at Drunk Pen Writing on Twitter. You can hit us up on Facebook. We have a donations page up now, so that'll fund the podcast that you're listening to, the website, hosting, and our current and future projects that we're going to be publishing. Right now we're working on the anthology for Halloween.
But we got other stuff.
We got other stuff. We always got other stuff. It's a matter of us actually finishing the stuff.
Yeah, doing it. But it's there.
It's there. All right. Well, you folks, enjoy your life. We'll catch you on the flip side.
Bye.
Bye.